You are now listening to the newest wrestling podcast about to take over the nation. The newest podcast that'll make you rethink, reimagine, redefine the wrestling ideas, the wrestling discussion, and the wrestling debates that you were so used to thinking of. All these new ideas, thoughts, and debates will make you just want to scream. Oh my God! This is the Atlantic Angle Podcast with your hosts, Zach McGibby and Oliver Norgrove. Welcome, everybody, to the very first ever Atlantic Angle Podcast. I'm your host, Zach McGibby, along with my buddy Oliver Norgrove, bringing you the best wrestling discussion from across the Atlantic. Ollie, how are you doing, bud?
Yeah, I'm doing pretty well, thank you. Had a good day, pretty busy. How about you? How you been?
Pretty good. Also busy day, I guess. Getting ready to talk some Night of Champions briefly. Start off the show.
Yeah, did you manage to catch it? Because I did. I got it. I actually fell asleep during the show. I fell asleep during the Miz and Dolph Ziggler. So, but I've seen it all, obviously. So, first pay-per-view in a while I've actually slept through accidentally. But thankfully I managed to catch it all. So yeah, looking forward to this evening.
Yeah, me too. Might as well get started with our, I guess you could say, brief opinions on a Night of Champions. First off, let's just get an overall opinion to start off the review. What was your thoughts of Night of Champions before we go fully in depth into the pay-per-view?
I thought it was a decent show overall. I would say maybe 6 or 7 out of 10. I think wrestling-wise, I think it was a very good wrestling show. There were some very good matches. I don't think there was a bad match on the card. I think storyline-wise, development-wise, booking-wise, there weren't any major problems. There were some issues that we can address, but I think wrestling-wise, we got some really, really entertaining stuff. Do you agree? What about you? What did you think overall?
Oh, I think it was definitely a great wrestling show overall. I was pretty satisfied with some of the endings, except the main event ending, which I'm sure everybody is familiar with right about now. I thought it was a good.
Why didn't you like it?
Well, I understand why they did it, but still, I kind of wanted a finish, like an actual something to end it off with, because from what it sounds like. The rumors, it sounds like Brock Lesnar is not going to be competing at Hell in a Cell. I could be completely wrong. And if that's the case, then I feel like there should have been some sort of finish to the show. And I didn't really think it benefited Seth Rollins very much in terms of his passion.
No, it's one of them things. I think Lesnar not being at Hell in a Cell, if that's true, there's good and bad things with that. Obviously, a card with Lesnar is stronger than a card without. But when he's not there, WWE has the opportunity to showcase other people, other talents a lot more. For the likes of Rollins and Ambrose. And I agree. I thought the ending to Night of Champions was it felt a little bit generic. It felt easily done. I didn't feel like much effort had gone into it to me personally. But definitely, I don't think mixed feelings on Lesnar not being at Night of Champions for me, because like I said, he doesn't need to be there, but it's just better with him there.
Yeah, absolutely, totally agree with you 100%. So let's get right into it. Do you want to talk about the pre-show, or do you want to just go main show?
No, I just go main show. I don't think the pre-show matters too much. So main show.
Okay, just a little bit of an overview for people that did miss it. We had Christian coming back, interviewing Jericho, just setting up the future match.
Actually, can I ask? I didn't see that. Was it interesting at all?
Not really, to be honest. No. Not really, to be honest. It was nice seeing Christian back.
Well, Randy Orton was a part of it, which is never a good thing. So
definitely not.
No, but anyway, talking about the main show, I was really, really pleased myself that Gold and Stardust won the belts, because obviously Usos as good and as refreshing as they've been. I think it was good that another team have come into the fray and kind of risen to the top now. I think it would be good for the division, even though the division does lack a little bit of depth at the moment. It's always good to have new champions, and I think they deserve it, because I think both of them, no matter what you say about their characters, I don't think you can deny their talent. I really, really enjoyed the match, and I thought it was a good decision to have them win it.
Yeah, definitely. I did like the decision for Stardust and Goldust to win. People were definitely starting to get a little tired of the Usos holding on to the belts. The only thing I'm a little bit questioning is they're supposed to be heels, right? And they're not acting very heelish in a lot of this. So
it's a little bit vague as to what they're doing, because you can't really tell whether, like you said, you can't really tell if they're heels or tweeners or baby faces or what. So it's difficult to assess their characters completely, because they are, well, that's just it. They're strange. But in terms of, I thought the match was really good, though. Obviously, when you have four men like that who go into a match with that kind of talent, you're going to get something good. And for me, actually, my personal highlight, and he has been for a while, I think Goldust has actually been really impressing me for a long time now, about a year now, actually. Yeah. I think 45 years of age, and he's putting on performances like this consistently is something to be kind of admired. I don't know if you agree.
Oh, I agree. Yeah, definitely. His age, for a guy of his talent, it's just astounding to me that he's an older guy, early 40s, and can still move around like that in the ring. Doing a senton outside of the ring is just insane to me, especially for a guy of his age. And definitely, both teams have tremendous talent. Cody Rhodes, especially. Cody Rhodes he just needs to find something, because I don't think he is a tag team player for his career. You know what I mean? I think he deserves to get a better shot. But another title to the books of Cody Rhodes isn't a bad thing.
I want to see the two feud eventually, because I think we've all been waiting at some point to see Cody Rhodes and Goldust feud. So I want to see that as soon as it can happen. I'm thinking hopefully WrestleMania 31 it will happen. But for now, we're going to see a tag team reign, which is fine. But like I say, eventually I want to see Cody Rhodes and Goldust feud, because I just think it would be appropriate for that to happen.
Yeah, me too. I believe that should happen in the future. But where does this lead for the Usos in the future? What do you think they're going to do now that the Usos don't have the tag titles?
I think the Usos are going to be this generation's sort of Edge, Christian, the Hardys, the Dudleys. I think they're just going to be in and out constantly as tag teams. There's no point breaking them up as individuals, because they wouldn't be right as individuals. So I think they're going to be one of those teams that just sticks together, and is just in and out, and there to be entertaining, and there to provide the good matches like the Dudleys were in years past, and Edge and Christian and so on. So that's where I think the Usos stand right now. They'll be back into the picture at some point. I can definitely see them feuding with the Ascension down the road. I can see that, which definitely is something to look forward to.
Yeah, definitely.
But right now, I'm pleased that they've changed. I don't know. What about you? Do you agree?
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think. In the future, I think we're definitely going to see a rematch at a Hell in a Cell between these two teams, just so that they can just extend it a little bit longer. And because the Ascension right now in NXT are kind of just doing the job for Hideo Itami. So I think they're just kind of going to delay it a little bit until the Ascension are ready to be brought up. I don't know if we're going to see Usos Ascension in terms of a match with each other. I think we're going to see the Ascension go straight to the tag titles, in my opinion. But it wouldn't surprise me if they go for the Usos to just solidify themselves as a solid tag team in the division.
Yeah. I think the Usos would be a good kind of building block for the Ascension at this point, because how do you write the Ascension into a storyline with Gold and Stardust, because all four, both teams are so different. I'm not saying it couldn't work. I just think it would be easier just to put the Ascension in a simple traditional feud with the Usos as a way of getting them over, and as a way of kind of testing the waters with them a little bit. So I think that's what they'll do at some point whenever they decide to promote the Ascension. I think it will be soon, the next couple of months. So it is what it is. I mean, I am looking forward to the Ascension coming to the main roster.
Absolutely.
Just a question of who they feud with, and I think it'll be the Usos.
Yeah. So we'll move on to the next match on the card, which was Sheamus versus Cesaro, in what many believe to be the match of the night, if not the match stealer. It was just an awesome wrestling match. I was a little disappointed to see Cesaro lose in this one, but I was hoping the little voice inside my head was saying that there's going to be a double turn happening soon. I really think a heel Sheamus is the right step for him right now in terms of his character, and him being a Triple H guy, which is not really a secret. I think if Sheamus were to be a part of the Authority in some sort of capacity, that could really help elevate him, because a guy of his stature should be a main event guy, not be holding a U.S. title or any sort of lower card title, which is unfortunate in this day's WWE, that the Intercontinental title and U.S. title are just afterthoughts.
Yeah.
But what are your thoughts, Oliver?
I think I agree with you in the fact that it was I would say it was the best match of the night. I really enjoyed. There were some really good one-on-one kind of spots in the match. The chemistry them two have is really you don't see that kind of chemistry often, especially in the mid card. And I think that Cesaro should have won for me. I don't think we saw the right winner, because Sheamus looks, I don't know, he looks a little bit out of place with the United States Championship. The championship obviously means very little nowadays. So I think it would have been good for the title and good for Cesaro for there to be a change and for there to be a Cesaro win at the pay-per-view. But unfortunately we got a Sheamus. I don't think much of Sheamus at all, really. I don't see the kind of hype behind him. Although I do agree that a heel Sheamus is 100,000 times better than babyface Sheamus. I can't stand babyface Sheamus. It's just nothing. He's pandering and he doesn't mean anything to me as a face. And if WWE do turn him heel, it would be a wise thing to do before he's completely lost in the queue and becomes a bit of an afterthought himself. So I do think WWE needs to turn Sheamus heel, and Cesaro should be a face at this point. I mean, who's really in an arena booing Cesaro? Not many people to me. I like Cesaro, so yeah, honestly, great match, but wrong winner.
Yeah, exactly. And it'd be great if they both could execute some sort of double turn, but knowing WWE and their booking of lower card titles, that's pretty much non-existent. That's not going to happen ever, in my opinion. In terms of lower card, in higher card situations like WWE title, they would definitely consider a double turn. But a lot of people are saying that Rusev should be the next contender for the U.S. title. Now, I think that Rusev, they should wait for Rusev to win the U.S. title until around the Royal Rumble time, so that they could build to WrestleMania, so that finally the shining face could overcome Rusev at WrestleMania. What are your thoughts on that idea?
I agree. I do agree that that Rusev should be the next United States champion, because at this point it's the only thing really that he needs to completely solidify the character. I know, and him being the representation of America, almost ironically, it would be good. It's good for the storyline and good for him, because I think it would get him, decent heat, especially with Lana with him as well. So, I would like to see Rusev become the United States champion. He's doing quite well, Rusev. I'm actually seeing on social media people are actually starting to get behind him quite a lot more. I don't know if you've noticed that, but I've definitely noticed that over the past couple of months with Rusev. I didn't really enjoy the match he had with Mark Henry at the pay-per-view, though, did you?
Yeah, me neither. I didn't think it was that great of a match. It was just... I was waiting, because I think the perfect heel move move for them to do was at the beginning of the match when they were all rising for the U.S. national anthem. I just wanted Rusev to just interrupt the anthem and just come out with maybe he comes out during the U.S. national anthem with the Russian national anthem. Boy, that could have really gotten some more heat on on Rusev. That could have been an interesting angle. That would have been a good idea. And I was kind of waiting for it too. I was just kind of like, where's Rusev? He's got to come in. Like, this is the perfect moment for him to interrupt and make the match a little bit more interesting. But
yeah, that would have been a good. And also the fact that Mark Henry tapped out really quickly. I mean, did you notice that? How quickly he tapped out? That kind of. It was sort of like all the momentum and all the match kind of deflated once he tapped out so quickly, because Mark Henry, with the weight of supposedly the weight of his country on his shoulders, you would expect him to have at least battled out of that, more than once, or at least once, or would have tried to kind of be in that submission move for longer. So he didn't tap out and give up so quickly. Bearing in mind that's the whole storyline they've got going. So, it was kind of a boring match, but that's what you expect. I think Rusev is okay in the ring. I don't mind him in the ring. He's a kind of bulky, so he's not going to be he's not going to be a Jeff Hardy anytime soon.
No, we're not going to see Rusev doing senton bombs. No way.
Oh God, no. Although I would like to see it. I'd like to see it once, but no, I don't think we're going to see that anytime soon. I mean, I don't know if you saw, but Rusev. Mark Henry has turned heel apparently on main event. Did you see this?
No, I did not. Apparently, I heard about this, but that's an interesting turn for them to go.
Apparently, they're going to have Mark Henry feud with Big Show.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, in 2014, we're having a Mark Henry Big Show feud. We had the same thing 3 years ago. We had the same thing, and it's just, why do we need to see these two feud? I don't understand that at all. But Rusev, I think Sheamus will be his next victim. Not just. I know Sheamus isn't American, but having that belt just makes sense. And I know you say about the Royal Rumble going into Mania, but you can still keep Rusev undefeated until WrestleMania.
Oh, yeah.
And give him the now. So that's what I think they should do.
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll go over to the Miz versus Dolph Ziggler matchup. You said you fallen asleep for this one. Which part did you fall asleep to, when Florida Georgia Line came out, or?
Yeah, it was just as they were coming out, because I didn't fall asleep because it was so bad. I was actually pretty tired, because you have to remember that in London pay-per-views and Raw is on at 1 till 4 a.m. So I was quite tired anyway. So I did try and not sleep through it, but Florida Georgia Line coming out, and I was like, who the hell are these? Did you know who they were? Because I didn't know who they were.
I had some idea, but I didn't think they deserved to be in a wrestling ring, to be honest.
No, they didn't, and they didn't deserve to be bitching out Damien Sandow either. I didn't understand why that happened. That was unnecessary. Them being at ringside was unnecessary. The match was actually pretty decent. I actually thought the match was quite good, and sometimes it doesn't happen very often, but occasionally you get a hot potato storyline with the title, and the title is thrown backwards and forwards multiple times. We've seen it a few times before with the United States title and with the IC title. But I mean, are you enjoying the storyline? Because it seems to me like it's pretty much over now.
Yeah, I think the storyline is going to continue. I don't think it's ended. I think they're going to try and drag this out as much as they can, to be honest. Especially with Ziggler winning the title back. I think Miz will want the title back as well. And that was on the past Raw. And I think this storyline, there was one low point where they tried to take that aspect of those nude leaks from the cloud accounts of famous celebrities, and they did that for the Miz, and that was kind of silly and not really necessary. But in terms of the actual feud, I can't tell you, because Cole and JBL and Lawler were talking throughout the entire feud. But it's just, if I would.
Yeah, and they weren't even talking about the match either. Did you know?
Yeah, they weren't even talking about the match. No, they were like talking about Florida Georgia Line themselves and whatever. It was just
God.
so. I guess if JBL, Cole, and Lawler could just actually call a match for God's sake, then maybe
they can't.
if I could have maybe a better understanding of the storyline. Because to be honest, all I remember from a lot of the matches or a lot of the booking angles that they did was JBL, Cole, and Lawler talking about different stuff that didn't relate to the match itself. So
Yeah, I mean, did you actually enjoy the match?
I thought it was a good match. Once I muted the TV, it was a good match. It was.
I don't blame you. I don't blame you at all.
It was just it was a good match. Miz and Ziggler actually have pretty good chemistry, and I think Miz's wrestling ability has gotten better. Because I never really thought of Miz as a great wrestler. I always thought he was a good charismatic guy.
I've always thought the opposite. I don't think he's very good on the mic. I don't enjoy his mic work. I've always thought he was actually a better wrestler than the people give him credit for. Everybody else seems to be on the other way. Other people seem to think that he's really good on the mic and poor wrestler. I don't think that's the case at all. But I do agree. I think he has kind of developed and evolved more as a wrestler, and his matches are better. But by the way, I have to comment on also how funny is Damien Sandow getting as his stunt double. It's so good.
Hilarious.
I mean, he's so funny, and Damien Sandow is the guy right now who's turning the phrase, obviously, turning chicken shit into chicken salad. And that's what he's doing right now, and he's doing it really well as well. I don't know if you saw the segment on Main Event where they were talking to Dean Ambrose on the Miz TV. Did you see that?
I think I did.
And you have Sandow just copying all of the Miz's mannerisms, and Dean Ambrose reacting to it was just so funny. And I watched that earlier on, and Damien Sandow to me has so much talent, and I think he's actually a very good babyface.
Yeah. I always found it funny that he had the toy Intercontinental title belt.
Yes.
Which was hilarious. I was dying laughing when I saw that. That's genius stuff for his character. He really does make chicken salad out of chicken shit. It's just amazing. It was just hilarious.
I particularly enjoyed it at the pay-per-view when the Miz won the belt, and he was kind of crawling around by the barricade, kind of on his back, just like celebrating. And Sandow did the same thing next to him, just like crawling around on his back. It was so funny.
Was so funny.
That was so funny.
Yeah.
Funny.
And I guess that was the highlight of the match itself too. But we had Miz with the roll up, which surprised me a little bit because I thought Ziggler was going to retain. But then we had Ziggler win it the next night, so it made no sense in the end. But
yeah, and he revealed Dolph Ziggler's ass to the world. Yeah. If you noticed that,
and all of Twitter exploded.
Oh god, yeah, because that needs to be pointed out, doesn't it, by everybody on social media? Yep. Oh, definitely.
Oh yeah. So next one we had the Seth Rollins Open Challenge. Roman Reigns is not going to be able to compete for a while because it's something with his hernia. And they said he'd be out a couple of months. So Rollins really played the heel role very well in this one. And then what happened next? Trying to remember here. Oh yes, and
Dean Ambrose.
Yeah, Dean Ambrose, of course. How can you forget Dean Ambrose? But he showed up at the cab, and he answered the open challenge that Rollins laid, which I just remembered that Dean Ambrose didn't pay the taxi cab, so that's kind of a heel move. So heel turn pending.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Do you not think the problem with the segments at the moment is that it's kind of the same thing all the time? It's Ambrose chasing Rollins through the crowd, or just all the time. I mean, it's good. It's good that Ambrose is back because it's better to have him than to not, obviously. But I just think that WWE they're not being creative enough in terms of the interaction that goes on between Ambrose and Rollins.
WWE not being creative? No, that never happens.
No, oh, sorry, I didn't mean to insult. Yeah, I see what you mean there.
That never happens. What are you talking about? I mean, God. But yeah, I agree with you. But really, it's supposed to implement more heat so that they could get ready for Hell in a Cell. If Seth Rollins versus Dean Ambrose doesn't happen in a Hell in a Cell match, then they're really missing the mark on this one. It's just, I'm really looking forward to the matchup, and I hope it's Hell in a Cell. Apparently, the rumor is that it's going to be Cena and Ambrose first in Hell in a Cell, and the winner of that match gets to face Seth Rollins in a Hell in a Cell match.
And the loser gets to face Randy Orton.
Yeah.
My God, what a great way to cast Randy Orton away as I don't know how to quite phrase that, but have the loser face Randy Orton makes him look terrible.
Yeah.
And I don't like him, but I don't like that booking at all. That really surprised me. I hope they don't go down that road. I just want to see Ambrose Rollins in the Cell. Maybe even have, as the main event instead of that. I think it would be better just to go with. Actually, I would do instead of the rumored booking that you just said. I would go with Reigns. I would go with Ambrose and Cena taking on Orton and Rollins in a 2-on-2 Hell in a Cell match. And I would also have call me crazy, but I actually would like to see Paige and AJ go 1-on-1 in a cell. I think that would be quite good. Just for something different. Because it would just be good to have a women's Hell in a Cell match, just to make a nice change, and also the feud needs something different around it. So I think that would be what I would do with the pay-per-view. Not have the winner face Cena like Cena's the prize sort of thing, because Cena's no prize.
No. It's interesting you mentioned the Divas Hell in a Cell match. I don't think that's such an interesting concept that I don't think anybody really will think of, and I don't think WWE Creative will ever think of that, to be honest. But
I want to see it personally. What's wrong with that? It's the sellers above the ring.
It's just when you think, do you want to? I know they're not part of Total Divas, but do you want to see Total Divas in a Hell in a Cell match?
Yes, so they get hurt.
Ratings.
No, not so they get hurt. That's that. I'm just kidding, but yeah, it's just something different. I mean, why do we have to see the same? Yeah. I mean, not being funny. If I ask you this question, when was the last time we saw a Divas Championship match that had a stipulation to it? I mean, when was the last time that happened on pay-per-view?
That's been a while. Oh man.
Yeah, exactly. So why not? I mean, the triple threat. I thought it was a decent match actually.
Yeah, it was a decent match.
It was okay.
And Nikki Bella wasn't that bad. I was expecting worse, but
No, she wasn't too bad. She isn't a bad wrestler actually.
Well.
So yeah, I think they should switch it up. Not just have the same old one-on-one Diva title matches all the time. That's why I suggested. I do hope that they put them in a cell. I just think it would be quite funny to see a Divas Hell in a Cell match. I just think it would be quite good.
Oh man. That'll be interesting.
So,
that's interesting.
Hopefully. Yeah. What did you think? What did you think of the main event at the pay-per-view?
The main event.
Oh no, I'm sorry. No, we missed out Chris Jericho, Randy Orton, didn't we?
We've got to talk about Jericho and Orton, and I think we've also got to talk about maybe a little bit more into the Bella Page AJ stuff, but into Orton and Jericho. This was also a very good match, which I was a little surprised because a couple of years ago they had a match at a pay-per-view, and I'm talking like a while ago, and I think it was 2009, and I think it was at Armageddon, and I watched their match, and I wasn't too thrilled going into it because people were saying this was going to be a show stealer, but I was surprised because it was a pretty solidly worked match. What were your thoughts on the match?
I thought it was enjoyable. It's a great compliment to Chris Jericho that he allowed me to enjoy a Randy Orton match, which is probably the greatest compliment I'll ever pay to Chris Jericho. No, it was a good match. I am getting a little bit sick of the whole RKO off the top turnbuckle now. We've seen that enough times. That is no longer exciting in any way. That is like, Kane taking his mask off. It's been done too many times for it to be interesting now. It's a decent way it's a better than average way to conclude a match. But as I said, it's just been done now. But other than that, the match was entertaining. I have to say, there was it's like going back to what we said earlier about the match being wrestling wise a very good show. It was just storyline and booking wise it wasn't so good. But the wrestling on the pay-per-view was very good, and obviously Jericho and Orton was no different. I imagine you liked it as well.
Yeah, it was a good match. I was pleasantly surprised, and it was definitely a solid match. The only thing, nothing